From century-old grudges to modern-day chaos, this is every MLB rivalry explained in one relentless swing. Yankees versus Red Sox. Now before we explore anything else, we start with the rivalry that shaped baseball rage. This feud grew because both teams needed to define themselves against the other. Boston ruled early baseball and felt untouchable. Then they sold Babe Ruth and shattered their own identity. New York gained Ruth and gained a purpose that shaped their culture. Boston lost Ruth and lost every sense of control for decades. The Yankees kept winning and created a dynasty that towered over the league. Boston watched from the outside and carried the weight of failure. The rivalry survived because both cities linked their pride to baseball. New York loved success and demanded more of it. Boston loved suffering and turned it into community spirit. The 2003 ALCS hit Boston like a fresh wound when Aaron Boone ended their run. But 2004 answered every question about belief and revenge. Boston erased a 3-0 deficit and stunned the Yankees. They broke the curse and proved their pain had purpose. Every matchup carries history in every pitch. The rivalry matters because both teams need each other to feel complete. Hatred became fuel, tradition became pressure, and every meeting feels like a fight for identity. Giants versus Dodgers. Now that we survived New York and Boston, it's time to enter another historic war. This feud grew as both teams chased the same spotlight in New York. They shared a city, but refused to share glory. Every meeting felt like a fight for territory. When both clubs moved to California, the hatred found new life. Old wounds traveled west and settled under brighter skies. Los Angeles needed a rival with real weight. San Francisco needed an enemy that matched their pride. The Giants and Dodgers filled those roles perfectly. The 1965 fight showed the rivalry's true fire. Juan Marichal struck John Roseboro with a bat and chaos exploded. Benches cleared and a long, violent brawl followed. Both teams stayed competitive for decades, which kept the tension sharp. Every pennant race felt like a struggle for the soul of California. The all-time record stays painfully close, fueling stubborn fan arguments. This rivalry endures through pride, history, and the refusal of either city to step aside. Cardinals versus Cubs. After leaving California's battlefield, we walk straight into Midwest stubbornness. This rivalry thrives on pride, patience, and deep territorial loyalty. St. Louis built a legacy with trophies and steady discipline. Chicago built an identity through hope and long suffering. Both fan bases measure themselves against the other. Every series feels like a statement. St. Louis carries 11 titles and a constant air of confidence. Cubs fans hear that confidence and turn it into fuel. The Lou Brock trade added extra bitterness. Chicago lost a future legend and never forgot it. The 1998 home run chase poured gasoline onto the fire. Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa created a national spectacle that tied the teams together. Every meeting that season felt tense as both cities pushed their stars toward history. The Cubs lead the head-to-head record, but Cardinals fans point to October's success. Cubs fans counter with their 2016 title and their own broken curse. This rivalry survives through tradition, regional pride, and two cities refusing to surrender bragging rights. Yankees versus Mets. Leaving the Midwest, we enter a city that argues for sport. New York baseball feels like a crowded apartment with two loud siblings. The Yankees walk in with trophies and swagger. The Mets walk in with hope and stress. Both fan bases judge each other before the first pitch. Yankees fans see themselves as the city's royalty. Mets fans hear that attitude and roll their eyes. Every Subway Series game feels like a battle for the city's soul. The 2000 World Series pushed the tension to its peak. Roger Clemens threw a broken bat toward Mike Piazza and mayhem followed. The moment felt like a symbol of this rivalry's strange energy. The Yankees hold more titles, which fuels their confidence. The Mets hold deeper scars, which fuel their passion. Each side waits for any chance to claim superiority. Cubs versus White Sox. Leaving New York's chaos, we drop into a city split by one skyline. Chicago baseball feels like a family choosing sides at birth. The Cubs rule the north side with charm and patience. The White Sox command the south side with grit and edge. Each group believes its version of Chicago is the real one. The divide grows stronger with every season. Cubs fans carry a relaxed attitude shaped by years of hope. White Sox fans carry a sharper tone shaped by fights for respect. The 2005 White Sox title gave the South Side a loud victory lap. Cubs fans responded in 2016 with their own long-awaited celebration. The 1906 World Series remains a permanent bragging point for the White Sox. Interleague play brought new life to every meeting. Regular season games suddenly felt heavier and more personal. Chicago treats this rivalry like a neighborhood dispute. Pride matters. Territory matters. Every win stirs up citywide noise. This feud lives on because both sides believe Chicago baseball belongs to them alone. Dodgers versus Padres. Leaving Chicago's split city, we reach a rivalry built on rising ambition. San Diego spent decades in the Dodgers' shadow waiting for a breakthrough. Los Angeles controlled the region with winning seasons and constant confidence. Padres fans held on to small victories and treated them like trophies. Everything shifted when San Diego chose to compete with real force. Manny Machado arrived with a massive contract and a loud message. The Padres wanted respect and they wanted it fast. Dodgers fans felt the challenge and pushed back with pride. The 2022 postseason clash changed the tone of this feud. San Diego stunned Los Angeles and sent shockwaves through the league. The city celebrated like they had reached the mountaintop. Dodgers fans felt a rare sting and demanded revenge. History still favors Los Angeles, but the energy feels different now. San Diego carries young stars and new momentum. Los Angeles carries tradition and proven strength. This rivalry thrives on ambition, noise, and a fight for Southern California attention. Neither side plans to fade, and every meeting feels bigger now. Phillies versus Mets versus Braves. Leaving Southern California, we step into a division that never rests. The NL East rivalry works like a three-way storm. Each team pushes the others into constant tension. The Braves bring long stretches of dominance and high expectations. The Mets bring dramatic swings between hope and despair. The Phillies bring noise, passion, and the league's most intense fans. Every season creates a new set of grudges. Atlanta's long run of division titles set the tone early. Mets fans watch those wins with frustration and loud complaints. Phillies fans treated every Braves victory like a personal insult. The Mets' collapse in 2007 added fire to their fights with Philadelphia. The Phillies used that collapse as fuel for years. Atlanta then strengthened its rivalry with both teams through clutch late-season wins. Recent playoffs made things even hotter. Philadelphia knocked out the Braves twice with loud confidence. The Mets pushed back with their own moments of contention. This triangle survives through heartbreak, pressure, and three fan bases that refuse to be quiet. Every matchup feels like the start of another division-wide argument. Astros versus Rangers. Leaving the NL East storm, we land in a state that treats baseball like honor. The Astros and Rangers rivalry grew fast once both teams shared a division. Texas finally had two clubs fighting for one crown. Houston rose first with sharp talent and rising stars. The Rangers answered with their own push for state respect. Then the sign-stealing scandal exploded and changed everything. Houston's 2017 title took a heavy hit. Rangers fans turned every meeting into a moral battle. Trash can chants echoed through the entire series. Every Astros mistake felt louder under that spotlight. Both teams climbed toward success at the same time. Houston claimed 2 championships and has had constant playoff runs. Texas hit its peak in 2023 and carried a fresh swagger. Each side now views the other as a barrier rather than a neighbor. Recent seasons delivered tight division races and emotional postseason pressure. Fans embraced the tension and raised the volume. Thanks for watching, subscribe, and keep it here for the next showdown.